Yesterday, some bunnies, some NewJeans fans sent protest trucks to HYBE to ask NewJeans members to go back to ADOR. So it seems like the fandom is getting divided. So what is exactly going on? We're going to explore that in this video. But before that, let me play you a portion of this video that I uploaded 5 months ago, September 30, 2024, because it's kind of relevant. But then I began to wonder, where are the bunnies who oppose MAJ? Where did these bunnies who were critical of her to the point of staging a truck protest in April disappear? And if you think about it, in any human society, there's no group where everyone thinks and acts the same way. Democracy is inherently noisy, according to a very famous Korean poet. And even within a single family, disagreements happen. The only place where everyone has the same beliefs and acts in the same way is a dictatorship where thoughts and speech are controlled, right? So how is it possible for an entire fandom to think and act in unison, especially about someone, someone else and not the artist themselves? And my theory at the time is that those fans who opposed Heejin left the fandom because of disillusionment, right? But it turns out, and yes, up until yesterday, the fandom looked like dictatorship, and in fact, it still does look like it's a society where opposing voices are getting suppressed down, and we're gonna see about that later in this video as well. But it was interesting how those bunnies with different thoughts have started to raise their voices. And now there's a gallery, a new gallery within the online community called DC Inside, called 월화수목금, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That has become a community for the fans, NewJeans fans, who want NewJeans members to go back to ADOR because they're now awake, so to say. I don't know since at what point they became aware of what is actually going on and what's the truth, but it's really interesting phenomenon. Now, let's take a look at this article, actually these, truck messages. So NewJeans fans known as Bunnies held a truck protest in front of HYBE headquarters, saying they can't stand by and let NewJeans go down a dangerous path. The protest appears to be a direct response to the previous day's statement from Team Bunnies, and this is what they're talking about, who expressed support for the members' decision to part ways with both HYBE and ADOR. On the 27th, a protest truck sent by the Bunnies was parked outside HYBE's office in Yongsan, Seoul. Messages displayed on the truck's LED screens included, "Team Bunnies does not represent the entire fandom. A dialogue with ADOR is needed. The risk NewJeans would face later are too great to ignore." Other messages showed concern over potential financial damage to the group. This is an unwinnable fight, massive penalties, and endless lawsuits. Wake up. If the adults truly care about NewJeans, don't lead them into danger. The penalties will fall on them. You said 6 members, but the penalties land on the 5. So the fans warned that if the lawsuit fails, the members could be responsible for enormous contract penalties and damages. They also stated they've already had a 1-year hiatus and another 3 years from lawsuits, and everyone will forget about them. Adults around NewJeans, stop the gaslighting. We respect NewJeans, but we can't let them walk into danger. Also, they said something like, astronomical penalties. NewJeans wake up. This is a losing battle. The fines and lawsuit could be catastrophic. And yeah, the risk NewJeans would have to bear later on are far too great. Now, this stance is in stark contrast to Team Bunnies' statement the day before. In it, Team Bunnies declared, "We'll stand by the members until the end and support their decision to not continue with HYBE or ADOR." They added that, based on advice from multiple lawyers, forcing exclusive activities under a broken trust could severely violate the members' personal rights. They believe that, considering the full context, the appeal court could reach a different conclusion. Team Bunnies also addressed internal fan division, and that was a critical part, right? Saying that they had received reports about certain fan actions. As fans who love the members above all else, we cannot support a company that treats them as anything less than equal individuals. Those who don't agree with this can no longer be considered bunnies. Wow. Those who don't agree with this can no longer be considered bunnies. Any actions taken by them going forward do not reflect the views of the bunnies as a whole. And that's what I meant by in this video, right? It looks like a, I don't know, communist country with extreme censorship going on. Those who oppose a certain faction get kicked out of the fandom entirely. Now, nevertheless, the new community with fans arguing for going back to ADOR are quite active, right? And one of the members of this community have collected funds from these fans and rented a protest truck. And here's a receipt that they uploaded yesterday. Protest truck to an agency. And it cost 800,000 Korean won. I didn't know about that. And it's a company called ADOR. Quite fascinating. And then previously, they've collected feedback from various fans about what to write on the protest, what to showcase on the protest trucks. And in fact, they have sent a new truck today as well. Looks like this. In front of a HYBE building. Listen to our voices, Bunny's voices, instead of irresponsible support. Come back to stage instead of going to the court. We would love to see you perform on the stage for 3 minutes instead of seeing you in court for 3 years. Okay. This is our last phoning message. Go back to ADOR. And they criticize adults around NewJeans members. Now, one regrettable thing about these messages is that they don't directly address Heejin. And I think they should. And I wonder how many of these members of this gallery, this community, had been actively criticizing Heejin all along. And one of the reasons why there were multiple articles about the protest truck yesterday was because they've actively tried to send emails to various journalists asking them to cover this issue. And that's what happened. So, quite fascinating how hard they're working to try to persuade NewJeans members. And while I researched about that, I also found out this. So this is from a Kakao Talk conversation of certain NewJeans fandom members, talking with employee of a protest truck company or whoever's related to the protest truck company. This was back in April, right? The company reported on the fact that they successfully parked the protest truck in front of HYBE. And this is like a sort of like a receipt proving that it was actually fans who employed the protest truck. Like this. Heejin, stop using NewJeans and the family members. And also Heejin, stop attacking other artists. And why did they have to prove? Because there were some bunnies who claimed that this truck was hired by HYBE. Why? Right. Everyone who opposes them is part of HYBE. And there was someone else who posted this on the 26th of March, saying that I was one of the group members who funded the protest truck because I was so worried about NewJeans members, even though a lot of people have at the time criticized them for being hired by HYBE, and their voices got suppressed down by other fans. And I thought after, so I'm translating this message, this post, I thought watching the first press conference by Heejin, I thought that she was a madman, crazy. And we were worried that not all NewJeans fans would support her. But in the end, such opposing voices got censored entirely. Now, what do people think about this protest truck? People say, if you have seen my past comments, you know I was supporting NewJeans right up until the injunction. But seriously, it's time to wake up. The ones who will be paying those penalties aren't Heejin or the Bunnies. It's the members themselves. Finally, a sane fan. With all those penalties and damage claims looming, there's no way you can just blindly say fighting anymore. It's honestly heartbreaking. That is a reasonable take. LOL. 600 billion Korean won in penalties isn't just the name of someone's dog. If I were a fan, I'd be screaming at them to stop. It's hilarious how the antis and bunnies are somehow in agreement about fighting to the end. If you don't feel something off about that, your IQ might actually be in the single digits. So that is a quite fascinating thing going on right now, because at this point, like for example, fans of HYBE artists, like other artists such as Le Sserafim and Islet, they strongly oppose to the potential of NewJeans coming back to HYBE, right? Because it will cause extreme discomfort, especially if NewJeans members do not regret or apologize about their previous decisions targeting Le Sserafim and Islet. And those people who are very critical of NewJeans and Heejin for their behaviors, words, and actions believe that NewJeans should not come back to HYBE, which is why there's a strange agreement going on between those people and those bunnies who are sticking with NewJeans' actions and their decisions no matter what, right? So this community, the new community, asking members to go back to ADOR are very lonely right now, right? They're not getting a lot of support from either side. So I thought that was quite fascinating. All right, what about this comment? Kids, I don't know if you're reading the comments, but please just go back to ADOR. I seriously don't understand why you keep wasting your money, time, and image on something with no chance of winning. I'm saying this because I genuinely care about you. Oh, okay. Speaking of which, actually, I guess the general public agrees with this community, right? That NewJeans members should go back to ADOR. Whereas the extreme fans, I don't even know if I should call them fans or not, who still support Heejin and NewJeans, disagree with this protest messages. Also, like I said, those people who've been very critical of NewJeans and Heejin also disagree. All right, what about other comments under this article? Interestingly, this issue, protest truck issue, was covered by none other than Lee Sun-myung from Sports Gyeongyang, who, as you know, is famous for being very pro Heejin and NewJeans and anti-HYBE. So I thought it was interesting that he covered this issue as well. All right, people say, at least there are some rational fans out there, thank God. Nice to see there are still fans who can think clearly. Heejin started all this and ruined everything for the members. Where is she even hiding now? At the end of the day, Heejin threw the girls into the fire just to serve her own interest. They need to wake up and take their own path. If they don't, things will only get worse. And if that happens, the 5 members are the only ones who will be held accountable. Minijin, she will just walk away. And I think they have a point. Absolutely. And there are, let's also look at what the new fans think from this gallery. I've been blindly trusting this whole time. What more do you expect me to believe? I kept thinking, there has to be solid evidence, and just waited. But during the press conference, the National Assembly hearing, and the injunction trial, it was all just the same stuff over and over. And now, even in the Team Bunnies statement, there's nothing new. No fresh evidence, just more praise for Minijin. So seriously, what more am I supposed to believe? Very valid. It's been a year of something big is coming nonsense. When they did the emergency live stream, there must be something. When they went to the assembly, there must be something. When they sent the official documents, there must be something. When they held a press conference, there must be something. Even during the injunction trial, there must be something. Sure, there was stuff, but no smoking gun. Just little dopamine hits for the hardcore fans, and then nothing. And now they're saying we have to wait again until the next appeal. Yeah. At this point, it's so ridiculous, it's just funny. It's not even like, oh, this is just industry standard. They said they were being treated So the way NewJeans was treated was the best of the best in terms of compared to the industry standard. And they feel like they have been totally played all along, right? Tricked. Everything around them just feels like North Korea. I seriously have no other words. It just feels like North Korea. For the newer fans, they use the phrase 북괴. 북괴 is a slang for North Korea, and the comments agree. LMAO, LOL. I've been saying it's cult-like. It's giving cult vibes. Supreme leader vibes. Now, yesterday, something big also happened other than the protest trucks. One of major fan channels, fandom YouTube channels called 대혜린, roughly translated as Great Herin, shared a statement, long statement on their channel, YouTube post. And let me read this for you quickly. I like to share my thoughts in an organized way. You might not want to read this, but I've written it sincerely, so I'd appreciate it if you could read it to the end. I understand that many people may criticize me or feel disappointed, but I want to speak honestly about my personal thoughts. I respect and support the members' choices. However, realistically, there's no guarantee they will win the lawsuit. If the risks are deemed too great by the members or those around them, I think returning to ADOR could still be a viable option. I know that saying this might lead to criticism like, have you not been paying attention? Are you even a real fan? Are you dumb? Or are you working for HYBE? But I think the difference in risk between returning now and pushing through to the end is just too significant to ignore. I also agree that going back to ADOR feels like a terrible option. I don't believe they'll be treated well if they go back. There's a good chance they'll be stuck doing concepts or songs they don't want or performing on low quality stages just to fit the company's direction. Still, at the very least, they'll be able to continue activities during the remaining contract period. And after that, they'll have the chance to pursue the kind of music they truly want. Since ADOR stated in court that they would guarantee the members' activities, they'll likely have at least some opportunity to perform. And if they're intentionally being sidelined, that in itself could become legal evidence which could come to light. On the other hand, if the lawsuit continues, it could take a very long time before the members can return to their careers, and HYBE will likely keep interfering without pause. If they end up losing the case, things could get even worse. Considering the potential penalties, damage claims, breach of contract fees for canceled major brand deals, legal costs, and the possibility of further lawsuits from HYBE, the burden they would have to bear is enormous. If they lose after fighting to the end, it's not just their careers as entertainers that could be at risk. Their personal lives could also suffer serious damage. Some might say, if you don't trust the members' decisions, you are not a real fan. Just leave. But I'm simply concerned for their future. If the path they have chosen ends up going badly, it's the members who will ultimately have to bear the consequences. As a fan, I don't think it's wrong to worry about that. Of course, the final decision is theirs to make, and I have no right to tell them what to do. I'm just a fan who's worried about the worst case scenario, and I'm sharing my thoughts from that perspective. This post isn't meant to create division in the fandom. No matter what they choose, I'll respect and support them, but I wrote this hoping they can avoid the worst possible outcome. Also, while I respect the path the members choose, I think fans shouldn't just blindly push one option. There is value in reminding them that there are other possible paths too. I know even saying this might come off as overly self-important, but I'm just expressing my honest, personal opinion on my own channel. Lastly, since expressing different opinions is a basic part of being human, I hope we can also respect the opinions of other bunnies. I absolutely agree with that. That should be the case for any kinds of fandoms and any kinds of society, right? Just because someone thinks differently doesn't mean they should be silenced or attacked. There you go. I hope we can acknowledge that it's okay for a variety of perspectives to exist. But guess what happened to this post? It got deleted. Why? Because that post and that channel manager got attacked from left and right. And when I saw from left and right, those extreme fans who still support Minijin, and also those people who have been criticizing NewJeans and Minijin. So they came to this post, making themselves look like they're the extreme bunnies and writing comments to criticize them, so that in hopes that NewJeans would not come back to ADOR. So like I said, things are getting funnier, crazier, and more fascinating. This YouTube channel is quite a major fandom channel, about 140,000 subscribers, but they ended up apologizing, right? So this post got deleted, and then they posted an apology. Sorry for causing discomfort for my behavior, and then doing a reflections upon what I just did, my unfortunate decision. Even if I don't get pardoned by you guys, I would like to sincerely apologize. And there are a lot of different comments being written. Some people still heavily criticize them. Some people say that you did nothing wrong, or you have been supporting NewJeans very well all long years. So the fandom is really getting divided. But at the same time, I believe that, right now, if they truly want NewJeans members to go the right path, the first thing they should do is raise voices about Minijin, because she's the ultimate entity behind NewJeans, right? Even if NewJeans members go back to ADOR, if the root cause is not being removed, they will still be groomed and gaslit, whatever you call them. So even though this post sounded like a very thoughtful and, how should I say, relatively objective and rational and critical thinking, I hoped that they address Minijin, but of course, that wouldn't make sense given that this is coming from a fandom channel who has been loved by NewJeans fans. And now, this channel, like I said, is getting heavily attacked within online communities. People NewJeans fans are calling them names. And they have come up with this blacklist? A list of fan channels that should not be trusted, comparing them to Lee Wan-yong, who is historically the most well-known pro-Japanese collaborator during the World War II period, who has, as people say, sold the nation to a Japanese empire. So the most well-known betrayer from Korean's perspective. So they're comparing these channels, including the great Heejin, who shared this post, to such betrayer, historical betrayer. But there are some fans, NewJeans fans, who support this channel owners raising voices, right? Because like I said earlier, if a democratic society should respect different types of voice. But this fandom has been heavily censored from the very beginning, actually since first press conference given by Heejin. So that's not a surprise. And yeah, that's what's going on. Although 월화수목금 갤러리, they have not given up and still trying very hard to have the members go back to ADOR. Whether they will succeed or not, we'll have to see. I doubt that they will succeed as long as this woman still has influence over the members, right? Let me end by playing the portion of this video again, different parts. So earlier I mentioned dictatorship, right? And since Heejin's first press conference, NewJeans Fandom has been exactly that. Any unfavorable or critical comments about her are immediately deleted, even if they come from concern for NewJeans and the fandom's future. Perhaps the reason there's no community of bunnies opposing Heejin is that those fans who voiced concerns for NewJeans have been silenced, pushed to the point of disillusionment, and have already left the fandom. And that's exactly what's going on right now, except these fans have not left the fandom, as opposed to me, a life fan of NewJeans, who love their music and performances, got disillusioned altogether, and stopped listening to them last year. As I've mentioned multiple times, I liked NewJeans' music since their debut.
Oh, I said it right here.
And even as a casual fan, it saddens me that I can no longer listen to their music because of Heejin. And I can't even begin to imagine how much bigger the heartbreak must be for those bunnies who left the fandom in greater disillusionment. An international bunny recently expressed this feeling of disillusionment perfectly. You're so right about the disillusionment. I'm a bunny and still try to watch all their videos when they come out on YouTube, as well as lives. But it's so hard to feel the same for them as I used to before all this, especially after their live making unwise demands. Seeing other bunnies falling hard for the MHA manipulation also ruins the sense of community it felt like we had. Even though it will never be like before, hopefully once this all gets resolved, NewJeans can have a new beginning. Thank you for this comment, but is a new beginning even possible as long as the formula NewJeans equal Heejin equal to bunnies remains intact? I used to think that, and I still believe that, as long as Heejin has influence over the members, there will be no new beginning and there will be no difference. One more part. As I've mentioned multiple times, I liked NewJeans' music since... Actually, no. That's it. Alright, so we'll have to keep track of what's going on. They're going to send another protest truck to HYBE next Monday. Oh, and why, some people ask, why they're sending truck to HYBE building when NewJeans is no longer there and Heejin left the company, right? And they said that they did it because they will get more coverage, media coverage, so that their voices, their messages could reach the members more easily, right? And that makes sense. Although lots of people believe that they should have sent the truck to, I don't know, Heejin's office or NewJeans members' dormitory. And they say that these fans must already be aware of their locations because they're heavy fans, right? And I think that has a point too. And that will still get media attention, I think. What other things? And this behavior, this fandom is very fascinating. And as someone who's interested in human psychology and internet culture and fandom culture, this is something to be studied for, I feel like. So that's it. Feel free to comment. And while we comment, let's stay respectful, positive, and classy. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.